Hey guys, welcome back to Honey Money SG, and this time is the year 2022 first BTO launch in February. And I'm going to walk you through the map analysis of these few projects, right? Now for this time, we'll go through the Yishun BTO project, so I'll go through what are the details. So as usual, very simple, I'll go through two maps, one from HDB Official Site and the other details from Google Map to see what are the nearby surrounding amenities that are supporting that BTO site. So without further ado, let's go to the maps, let's go. Alright folks, welcome to the Yishun February 2022 build to order flats. Now for Yishun, we have two project sites for this Yishun project, and let's start off with the first one, right? So for the first project site, we have 850 units of 2-room Flexi, 3-room, 4-room and 5-room. Now the exact location is just right beside the Yishun River, right, which links to the Yishun Pond that goes all the way out to the sea in the northeast region. So we take a look at some of the nearby amenities first. We have a proposed nursing home just right beside this project, so really convenient for the old folks and elderly if they need to have some elderly care facility and services. Now just right downstairs you have your proposed neighborhood park, and over here you have your proposed church for Christians. It's also located just right along the park connector, so very nice for those people who love to exercise along park connector. And then there's a neighborhood center here if you want to do some neighborhood stuff. Nearest schools wise, we could look at the existing secondary schools like Northland Secondary School, Chongfu School, Yishun Town Secondary School. Primary school will be Xishan Secondary School and Yishun Primary School. So all these are quite a distance. You probably need to take a bus over there. And because if we look at the nearest MRT at Yishun, right, it's actually really quite a distance. So this project is not located in the Yishun Central. It's located at Yishun Avenue 8. So kind of a suburb compared to the central region where all your main activities and shopping mall is at. Like for example, North Point City, Integrated Transport Hub, North Park Residences and Community Club. All those are near the MRT station. So you probably need to take like a feeder bus for around 3 to 4 bus stops. Then you could reach your BTO flat. So transportation wise, not really convenient because Yishun is already quite a far location compared to the Singapore Central. And then you have to take like a shuttle bus to eventually reach your flat. But the good thing about this project is that it will be really affordable for the residents because of this location. Probably the demand will not be very high as well. And if we look at the supply, 850 units for just one project. That's a lot of opportunities if you really apply many times for BTO. You know that it's really a pain to actually get a number and eventually to get a flat that you really like. So especially for people who want to live in bigger flats like 5-room flats, right? Probably your best shot is at Yishun. Okay, and with that, let's look at the second project for this Yishun project. Now the second project is even larger. We have 980 units of 2-room, 3-room, 4-room and 5-room flats. Just right opposite of project number 1, right? And over here is the same thing. We have the proposed nursing home, and just a little more we have Northview Primary School. So actually those kids from project number 1 can also walk over to Northview Primary School. But other than that, there's really not much amenities going on in Yishun Avenue 8. It's probably like a forest here that's undeveloped yet. Good news is it's probably a very quiet zone, so you won't have those loud vehicles zooming past your house and giving you all the noise pollution that you will really hate it. Bad news is location is really quite inconvenient, and if you want to go to your nearest amenity, you probably have to go to Yishun Central to get all your stuff done like groceries, shopping needs, F&B restaurants. So that would be really inconvenient for some people. But if you drive, especially when you have so much savings when you buy a flat in Yishun suburb compared to the central region in the mature estates, then take up some money, save and go and get a car. Second-hand car will be good for a small family, and then you can drive to anywhere. You could even drive to Johor Bahru in Malaysia because Yishun is located in the north, so not a very long drive to Malaysia. So with that, let's take a look at the application rate. But the bad news is there's actually no application rates because for the past 12 months, there isn't any project launched in Yishun, so we could not compare that. I think this Yishun BTO is worth a shot because firstly, it's a non-mature estate, which means most people who apply for BTO usually go for the mature estate as the competition is high, the location is good, the amenities are all matured. But for non-mature estates, the competition will be much lesser. And you also get an additional chance if you actually miss the BTO opportunity the last round. The second thing about this BTO is that because it's located in the Yishun suburb, not in the Yishun central, so that's another downside for people not wanting to apply for the Yishun suburb, right? So I will expect the application rate to be really low, between 1 to 2 applications per flat. So that will be a really good opportunity, especially if you want to apply for 5-room flats, because a lot of families want to live in larger flats but they do not have that opportunity because competition is really fierce, especially the demand for own housing is really very high. So with that, let us look at the Google Maps for this, right? So this will be where your Yishun BTO site will be located, between Yishun Avenue 8 and Yishun Avenue 6. Project 1 is over here, project 2 is over here. And right on Google Map, we can see there's more amenities, right? There's even a small shopping mall right here called Junction 9, I believe. This is how Junction 9 will look like. It's just a small neighborhood community mall. So that's where you can do your grocery shopping, I believe. There's some eateries, small eateries, some barber shops, some cafes that you can chill at and then have your friends over, just have a nice chat over here. So this will be your neighborhood shopping mall. Quite a bit of walk actually. It's like almost a 10 minutes walk if you are in project 1 and maybe 15 minutes walk if you are in project 2. But nearby we also have other HDB blocks that also have kopitiams, right? The coffee shops. So you can actually buy your food here, and probably HDB will build their own coffee shop at the first floor of these two projects because there's more than 1,000 units, right? 900 plus 800, 1,700 units. That's the biggest project for this February 2022. So probably they need to like build in some coffee shops, I hope. Let's see that in the official launch. Okay, let's just do a quick map check, right? Let's say if I want to go to Yishun MRT or bus interchange, right? How many stops does it take from my flat to Yishun? Okay, so I'm going to choose a starting point to here, just right in between these two. And let's go to public transport. So your public transport shuttle is 806. Bus service 806 will service you for the feeder service around Yishun. So that's looking at around 17 minutes to reach Yishun MRT. That's really long, right? How many stops are we talking about? Wow, 8 stops. It's even further than I thought, okay? You need 8 stops to eventually reach Yishun MRT. And that's because you do like a big round trip, right? You see, it doesn't like go straight into the Yishun central region. It will loop around the HDB estate just to pick as much passengers as they could, and then along the Yishun Park and even the Yishun Neighborhood Police and Pond Park, and then it will reach the North Point. So you take like 15 minutes to reach the nearest MRT by bus, which is quite a distance. So let's say if I want to go from Yishun North Point to home, right, this will be my journey, okay? I have a few bus services, but bus 806 will be the most direct one, even though it's longer. You have the least walking distance, right? But you will loop through the whole HDB estate again, around Yishun Parks and all that stuff, and then eventually reach block 382C, which you can then take a 4 minutes walk to your HDB flat. So really quite far, further than what I thought. So consider very carefully if you really like this Yishun flat. Most likely, if you want to stay here, you probably have to drive to be very convenient. But think about the savings, right? Like I mentioned earlier, the savings you could get from applying at a non-mature estate, as well as such a far-flung location from Yishun Central. It will be probably really cheap. Then use that savings to get a second-hand car for your small family to travel around more conveniently. I think that's a good option as well. So think about the pros and cons and compare these two Yishun projects. Which one would you like better? Project number 1 or project number 2? So if you have found value, do help me comment a thank you in the comment section below. I'll greatly appreciate it. And let's get back to the video. Alright guys, welcome back from the map analysis. So I hope that these details have actually helped you to plan out which BTO is really suitable for you, right? And do look forward to my official videos for the BTO launch in February 2022, right? Where I'll be going through all the details that HDB will publish on their website. So if you have enjoyed my analysis and review, do help me give a like at the bottom of the video. Just takes 1 second of your time, and also consider subscribing to my channel for more of such housing content. Also join us over at our Telegram group at Honey Money SG. And check out my property and BTO playlist because it will help you gain some knowledge on how the Singapore property market works and maybe some of the BTO rules that you should really take note of right here. My name is Christopher. This is Honey Money SG, steering young adults to financial independence.